Welcome to the Lindsay Harris Flat Earth model. One of a kind. No one's touched on this. Once I realised Earth was flat, I thought, well, I'm going to have to try and figure out how it all works. So I started off with the moon, and I've come a long way since then, and now I think I've got the whole model. And I base it all on a lot of research into what the Egyptians have left us and what's written in Christianity and all the other cultures. What they've left us, it's all in stone. Apart from the Bible, that's in on paper. That's the one I read anyway. So a bit of flat earth science then today. I've tried to work out how it all works. So there's our Earth. What we have to understand is everything began at the centre. Everything grew from here out. Grew out. The primordial waters. The Ben stone. It began there. And I said in an earlier video, there's probably something at the bottom of the Arctic Ocean there. Like a big plinth or something, but there's a big Luma Sophos, whatever they called it, trench that the Russians found in 1948 and kept it a secret till 54 for some weird reason. It doesn't appear to be a plinth, and what science has discovered, doesn't seem to be anything special down there at this stage. But everything comes up through the centre Earth in a vortex, creates a magnetic vortex. Within Earth, all the precious stones and minerals, whatever, and the pumping of the tides twice a day creates this vortex in the centre of our Earth. Like an induction system, or the creation of plasma, electrons and all that. We have to realise this is all based on physics. You cannot see what's in there. It all boils down to mechanics. What's the word? Quantum mechanics. Atoms, electrons, proton. Sun being the proton. And the flow of the magnetic fields over our Earth in our closed system. Because this induction system doesn't work if it's open. It builds up pressure to create the backflow, the voltage we get here is the sun. It's all on the elliptic. It's like spiralling water, vortex, spiraling it up, and then eventually falls back down. Everything goes back down through the Milky Way to the centre. That's the reverse cycle. That's the counter force the Egyptians talk about. So we've got the upward flow of the vortex over time. Everything just falls back down through there. It starts the cycle again. So I've got the elliptics here on the 23.4 degree pitch here. The science has all that. They think the Earth's on the tilt, but there's no, Earth is flat and stationary. There's no spinning ball. And what we have to realise, we don't see what's in here. We have to understand that our eyeballs are like telescopes. We see what's in here. It's being projected out here into our realm from a microscopic point of view. Nothing's physical up here. Suck it all back into here, you will not see it. It's all atoms and electrons, all about electrons really. That's how it works. And this is based on the human brain. We're fractals of it. There's the sun in the centre of the Earth. This is sliced through the guts here, looking through an elevation. The sun in the centre. The human brain has two spheres. And the pineal gland in the centre. It's where the Son of Man is, the pineal gland. This is the sun of our existence here, but it's projected out here. It's all the same. And then you get another fractal of this, as the magnetic fields come come out of here to the equator, celestial equator, and go back down through the Earth. To come back out at the Australis Borealis. Up, and it comes up, goes back down, and comes around, and comes up through there. That's the cycle, the perpetual cycle, the way Earth works. That's the infinite sign, the snake, like this. And that's another fractal of the design, the human brain, the two spheres. And we see the holographic sun out here, don't we? In here somewhere, moving between the tropics. Everything is a holographic projection. It's between here and here, because those 2 points are related to this pitch of the elliptic. So I've drawn the elliptic line straight through, and look, could be to scale. It starts up here, the Tropic of Cancer, straight down on that 23.4 degree, ends up at the Tropic of Capricorn. We're so minute, you know, that could be our horizon. That's where we see all the celestial bodies, not way up here, but within our horizon. You know, you'll see the same thing. This guy will see the same thing, sort of thing. Look at that, to there. So they call this perihelion in the summer, where the sun is projected. Just back up a bit. You've got to realise the sun is the eye of Ra. This is what it's all about. It's all in the eye of Ra. That sits vertically in here. It sits vertically like this. This is what it looks like. That's the equinox. The eye is seen in the centre. But this is how it's placed. It's set into the Milky Way, like this. Once again, the Egyptians, the crocodile, they worship the crocodile, just like his eye there, tucked into the Milky Way, just like that. And you see that at night if you've got a good telescope. You'll see a lot of light, but as it turns over the night where the sun's completely the opposite, you'll get less light. You're looking through the back of the Milky Way. You'll see stuff all. But it's that back of the Milky Way, looking through here, that is sigma octantis, that rotation, because it's reflected through here. And straight up is the Polaris rotation. Straight up is Polaris. You don't see it through all that stuff up here on top. It's just the way it is. The precession of the equinoxes over 25,000 years or whatever it is, 26,000 years. This is the vortex is gone like this. It's slightly moved a little bit as it goes around. You know, it tilts a little bit. And that gives that precession of the equinoxes. Instead of being an Earth like this and that moving, precession there, it's just the whole vortex. So you've got the vortex moving, you've got the elliptic moving over a year. We have the elliptic. So the elliptic will move around that way for the seasons, and it will move this way over the whole year. So this lone system here is the seasons. So this will turn flat. It'll just stay down like this. This is perihelion, where the sun is now projecting out, further out now, right out to the south. It gives us all the sun out here. And when it's up like that and the sun's there's lights on it. The sun is up here because it's close to the centre here, so you don't want too much sun because it's smaller. You know what I mean? It's north.
It's a done pen.
So that'll be north. This is south, because south is exponentially bigger, isn't it? Look at all this. Look at all this. And that's all within 15 degrees. It's all within 1 hour. 1 hour to get from there to there. 1 hour to get from there to there. So we have all this extra light flowing further out, right out south here. So you're getting all the sun around the Antarctica area. But when the sun starts facing this way, it's summer in the sun, summer in the north. Get it? This is equinox, so that's balanced centre. Otherwise, you'd have northern summer. The eyes come around because that turns, or you've got the eye down there for the perihelion, aphelion. So this all turns around, and this actually coming down is the yearly cycle, yeah. So it does turn as well as change its pitch with the year, because you get so many months with it down there like that. So you get that going around like that, then you have the sun in there looking that way, and then let's start coming up like this. Yes, that comes up like this. So you got that coming up. You got this moving up and down. You got this moving around. You got all sorts going on. Big great position of the vortex turning. You know, it's a spiral. It's turning all the time. And this is the sun. Looking down on there, that's the sun. Off the side of the spin. You got this big. It's sort of stretched out like this because it's on the elliptic. Otherwise, it would be nice and round, but stretched out on the elliptic angle. So you can imagine a spring, and if you follow that spring, because you're going up, you're stretching it out more. It's going more oval, isn't it? That's what they have in science, an oval, but it's an egg shape. It's like this, just like the human body, baby and the fetus. Everything's connected to nature. And this is what the moon's doing, all the way around like this. Because this is turning too. The moon and planets are changing their paths, like this. There. So you've got day, the sun is this way during the day. So we don't see the Milky Way, do we? It's all lit up. But once it turns away, we see the back of it. And the sun's tucked in there. A lot of people can't understand this, but just pull out your telescope earlier on in the night, you see the bright sun tucked in behind as it's gone around to the side, because it's day coming, it's the sun going down. It's not going down at all, it's just turning out of sight and just going out of our sight, getting lost on the horizon. You'll see the light tucked in there as it gets right around later on. No, you won't. Stuff all light is seen through the whole Milky Way. You can't understand this, you're never going to believe, people don't believe this, they will never believe that Polaris is actually the sun, or this. It didn't used to point to some other star here or here. That was the star. If it pointed that way, that was the sun. That was the sun. In the great procession, with great year. Lindsay Harris theory there. So where we see all the holographic projections all sitting in this area here, they get stopped here because we've got holographic into atmospheric moisture, humidity, all in the tropics. And that's supposed to be the ecliptic, according to science, between the Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn and Cancer. And you more or less do get your images in there because they stopped there. That's where all the density is with the moisture. Whole atmosphere is full of moisture. Everything's about moisture. Moisture in here. It's turning. You got the big vortex turning slowly. It could be a full rotation. This whole outside vortex. Well, I know it's turning down here. It's taking 2 months to turn the whole ocean, Arctic Ocean, 2 months to turn. So maybe this whole thing turns in a year. I'm not a computer. I can't program it all to make it work. But yeah, that's it. And so here we have this angle. We see this in the Horus's eye, right? That's usually a 40-degree angle. So that's what I did here. I took the Great Pyramid of Egypt, roughly 30 degrees, 40-degree angle. Look, ended up right where the sun is. So I left the sun there, did that 23.4 degree ecliptic straight down there. Look where it came to, Tropic of Capricorn and Cancer there. So because this is like an eye, and we know our vision is focal point plus 23.4. 23.4. Science, they tell you in optometry that it's 50 degrees, but two of those, that's 46.8. Pretty close to 50, isn't it? This is what you're doing. This is what's happening. You get your main focal point out here, but you're getting a lot of light straight through all the way out here, down here, within there. And then if you go back up here to the perihelion, the sun is between there and there, because you're in the north. You can't have the flipping sun right there, killing you down here, frying your ass. You're going to get less sun. It's lifted up to get less sun away from the centre. It's all projected out here. It's a long way out. But when it comes in here, less light is needed. It's the way it works. And what I worked out was to scale it out. If this was 2,000 miles wide at the base here, this vortex in the Arctic Circle, we would have 9,000 kilometres to the equator. Science says it's 10,000 from the north to the equator. So if that was 2,000, half of it, that comes to 9. That's 9,000 kilometres. And you scale that, what's that to there to there? That's 6,000 kilometres. Then we have 2 Tesla's numbers there. What he says? If you only knew the magnificence of 369, then you would have the keys to the universe. There's 6 and 9. 6 and 9. We know these latitudes are divided into 30s. There's 3, 3, 6, 9. So, and then you look at this, you know, World War II, and the swastika. That's celestial. And then I thought, well, you know, you see the frickin' guys, Hail Hitler, you go like this, you come around here, what angle's that? Just a coincidence. It came to about 23.4 degrees. And what do you get in the north? They live in the north. Germany's up, it's up in the north. That's aphelium. It's thicking up. And what did I say, Leon, about the previous video had aphelium and perihelion, Leon. Leon at the end of each of those words. The two lions in the coat of arms. A lion there, and whatever in here. Well, what do we got here? There. That's Iran's coat of arms. The two lions. Centre Earth. The crown represents the sun. Offset from the centre Earth. Two lines. And they've got all this other esoteric stuff in there too. I've looked into. I understand it all. The sun offset from the centre. World War II was organised by the Illuminati, the bankers. They know all this stuff. They know everything. It's all kept from you. The whole flat earth is kept from you. You only have to look into celestial navigation. It proves Earth is flat. This is how they describe it. They take the globe, which I haven't got in here, and they're talking about getting from point A to point B. So what they do is on the globe, I'll go this way, take this, 2 points. So what they do is those 2 points, you slice it right through the globe. And then they start, so they show you 2 points like this, and then they bring 2 lines in here and give you the angle. They work it all out. But that point in there is supposed to be the centre of your ball. You've got to imagine it's the centre of your ball. But no, at the end of the day, all it is a flat map coming back to the centre north. You look into it, mate. It's just a joke. It's all based on flat earth and the domed and this. You have to realise from the equator region, all this area here is flat. It's from there to there, it curls down. Symmetrical. With this. And we get the, so I've told people a lot, quite often in all my videos, that all this sky rotation all comes from the stem within here. And all this rotation, the Polaris rotation, all comes up from here. It's seen from down there, it's reflected up onto the dome. And that's reflected out there. 2 separate rotations, 2 sky rotations. How they come up to about here and meet. There's a slight gap, enough for the Orion's about to pass through in spring. Get out there tonight and check it out. I've had some bad weather in the last 2 days. You'll find it right there at the meridian. Your meridian will be passing through there. So there's the eye. I think this is related to the sine wave, how things are rocking around there. But it's an eye. Eye. What else have we got here? So the Great Pyramid there. The sun up here for the north, down there for the south. How this goes around in the elliptic in here, that goes around in there. I was trying to explain that, but it's too tricky. It's too tricky trying to explain that. I can't even get it in my head myself. There's too many things going on here. I need to put into a better computer system before I'll understand it. I'll tell you online, but I don't show you exactly how it works. What do we got here? So at perihelion, the Earth moves through a greater angle in its orbit, a greater angle, only because it's stretched out here. It grows exponentially. Science knows it stretches out more because it's getting wider, isn't it? Wider, greater angle in its orbit. This means that it must rotate a little angle to make the sun cross the meridian again. So 1 day at perihelion is longer than 1 day in aphelion. Although we share a fascination with the stars, we have little documented knowledge of how particular constellations were identified by certain cultures. Why and how do we see the same patterns? So they don't know why and how. Why and how do we see the same patterns? Because the same patterns going on all the time in here, reflected out here, reflected in here, up there. It's all there. It's not out here, spinning over a ball. It's just garbage. The answer lies in the Earth's rotation about its tilt axis and orbit around the Sun during summer. The North Pole is tilted towards the Sun. See, that's rubbish. It's all the tilting's in here, you see. Earth's stationary. So they're trying to say the Earth is the ball with the tilt. When the tilt is in here, Earth is stationary. The Lomonosov Ridge. And then you have the astrolabe, whatever they call it. See, that's that. That's the sun. See, the sun's offset. It's centre. It's going around the centre hole. It's sitting in the centre. It's offset. Well, I'll go back there. See that? Offset going around. It's actually an egg shape. Science only has this, isn't it? As an elongated ellipse. But egg shaped. Egg shaped. And with that.